Combat Outpost War Eagle. No KFCs or Burger Kings here. This place is hardcore. Home of the brave, North Baghdad. The paratroopers of the 82nd Airbourne, spearheading the American surge, think they're winning, that George Bush's plan's working. That Iraq, too, will indeed one day be a land of the free.
I think it's finally, we're going to get the right amount of troops in the right places. Right now with the surge, it's just saturating Baghdad. There's nowhere for them to hide anymore. We walk right outside our gate, we're automatically patrolling. We much prefer to live with the people. It generates more tips. The people see you every day, more times a day, and that helps quell the violence in this sector.
3 platoons from the War Eagle combat outpost each spend 10 hours a day patrolling North Baghdad's violent suburbs on foot.
Last night there was a suspected kidnapping, but the guy couldn't point the house out. This morning he found his son. He's beat up pretty good, so we're going to go ask him a few questions and try to find out who's still conducting these kidnappings and stuff.
Saleh Abdul Karim, a local Sunni Muslim man, was found dumped in a ditch a few hours ago. Against all the odds, he's just survived abduction by a Shia Muslim death squad.
Like a cat of nine tails or something, like a...
Saleh has lacerations all over his body. His nose and his jaw are broken. His life was spared after a local Shia cleric intervened.
He was Sunni.
It's Lieutenant Pitt's third tour of duty here. He says most people know who's doing these kidnappings, but they're too scared to say. In this dystopian world, trust is in short supply. Neighbours informing on neighbours. And in Baghdad these days, it's amazing what your neighbours get up to. If the man wielding this camera was spotted, he'd probably be lynched as a spy. This, the Mahdi army, loyal to Shia cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, at work mid-afternoon. The surge was meant to stop all this. Here they're loading a heavy machine gun into the boot of an Opel, a car known as the Humvee of the Mujahideen. The camera was supplied by our crew to a Shia man. When he handed over this footage, he shrugged it all off as normal. In another Sunni suburb, Larry Pitts' patrol is approached by a man who claims to have information. He's worried about being branded a collaborator, so the platoon makes a big deal of arresting him. Later, in questioning, this man would inform on one of his neighbours, whom he claimed was a Sunni insurgent. An earlier tip-off had led to their finding a car bomb, rigged and ready to blow. They'd rolled it out of a residential driveway, cleared the area, and detonated it.
Fire in the hole, fire in the hole. God damn it!
They'd had no idea how big the bomb was. Imagine this going off in a crowded market. They often do. With all this going on, occupied Baghdad can still look disconcertingly normal. With his soldiers providing cover, Lieutenant Larry holds court in a tea house in Grayat Market. Local people take the opportunity to come and complain. 2 women, Khadija and Fatin. One's lost her husband, the other her son. Lost because they've disappeared into the labyrinthine prison system.
He's a bad man. They tell me he's a bad man, but he's not a bad man. Who told them is a liar.
Khadija, a school teacher, is upset because she says everyone's betraying each other these days. Why was her husband arrested, she's asked.
Somebody hate them. Somebody hates my husband and hates her son.
So what do they say? Do they go to
They just want to hurt him by nothing. They just want to take him and hurt them.
The lieutenant promises to check up on the missing husband and son. It's gone 2 a.m. Tonight's mission? Raiding the home of the alleged insurgent, grassed on by his neighbour, the man they'd made a show of arresting. The Americans claim never to act on a single source of intelligence. They say the man provided the missing piece in a jigsaw. Accompanying them on the night raid, a 22-year-old female military intelligence officer on her first tour in Iraq. She doesn't speak Arabic. Their target, Mohammed, is not at home, just women and children. The interrogator gets to work on Mohammed's sister.
Where's the man of the house?
He's gone to the Gulf, she says, 2 months ago. Their father, dead, she says, killed by a Shia death squad. Lieutenant Larry chips in. We don't believe he's left Iraq, he says.
So we've seen him today and yesterday and the day before that.
He's not here, she repeats.
Look at me. Is it between me and you? What would you do if I took you from your family? What would you do if you had to choose between your brother or your family? What would you do? Think about this.
The spotlight now shifts to Mohammed's mother. Please, she says, don't take my son. I already lost my husband.
I'm sorry to hear that. Where's your son Mohammed? Where did he go?
I'll tell you the truth, she says. Mohammed actually left the house 2 hours ago. He's a truck driver, she says. Our family's main breadwinner.
I want you to know that I'm sorry to come in here and frighten your family. But I'm worried about your son. We heard something bad about your son. We were just worried about him.
The intelligence officer flicks through the family album. Her first glimpse of Mohammed. So why did his sister lie? Was the informant right? Who knows? The Americans don't. True to his word, Lieutenant Larry's gone back to tell the two women from the tea shop what he'd learned about their missing husband and son. First, it's Khadija, the teacher.
Please, give me more information about him.
He was a suspected cell leader in this area.
No, he doesn't do anything.
Okay.
He's innocent.
Okay. If he's innocent, then he will be returned with all of his things, and inshallah, you'll be able to continue your normal life.
For Fatin, just round the corner, worse news about her son.
Cell leader, murder, torture. That's what he's being charged with.
Oh Allah, she cries, I swear to God he is innocent. As the lieutenant leaves, Fatin calls after him. Ask any of my neighbours. They'll all tell you he's an innocent man. But Larry Pitts had already done that. Some of her neighbours had said just the opposite.